We'll now call to order the Legislation and Rules Committee hearing for Tuesday, July 11th, 2023. Sharita, please call the roll.
Alderman Narayan.
Alderman, hang on a second. We've got
Oh.
issues with YouTube. Hang on.
Okay, 1 second.
Hey, yeah, you do not have permission to live stream.
Sometimes it times out.
And it didn't record.
It's recording.
It is recording?
Yeah.
Okay. Yo, let's see.
And we're live.
Okay, you're live, Alderman. Sorry about that.
All right, no worries. Thank you, STL TV. And we will now call to order the Legislation and Rules Committee hearing for Tuesday, July 11th, 2023. Sharita, please call the roll.
Alderman Narayan. Alderwoman Clark Hubbard.
Aye, I'm sorry, here.
Alderwoman Velazquez.
All right, we lost her. She was there.
Chairman Ballmer.
Present?
Alderman Narayan. Alderwoman Velazquez. 2 present. You do not have quorum.
All right, see if someone can contact Alderman Velazquez. So.
A belated present, Sharita.
Thank you. Alderwoman Velazquez.
Here.
3 present. You have quorum.
All right. Thank you very much. We have no minutes to approve. I believe this is pretty fast what we have with Alderwoman Velazquez is bill number 71. So I will proceed with that since we have the city register with us, and we'll make the best of her time today so she can get back to her job. So Alderwoman Velazquez, please proceed with Board Bill 71.
Great. Thank you, Alderman Vollmer. I'll keep it pretty short as well and really hand over the floor to Register Sims. But this Board Bill 71 is really just the first phase in one of 3 to digitize the ordinances. As many of you know, lots of the records of the city are in the city basement, I guess, and they have not been digitized. So this is really just a bill that basically lets a grant get started for the registrar to digitize the first set. So with that, Alderman Vollmer, I'd like to hand over the floor, if you will, to the register.
All right. First of all, I believe we have to swear in the register. Sharita, can you take care of that?
I'm sorry, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Please turn your mic on. I believe you're muted. Register. Say I do. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman and members of the Legislation and Rules Committee. I am Amber Boykin Sims, the City Register. I have served in this role since May of 2021. I am here today to speak in support of Board Bill number 71, sponsored by Vice Chair Alderwoman Velazquez. In December of 2022, I applied for a grant with the Missouri Secretary of State's office to obtain funding to begin the process of making digital records, securing and preserving official city documents. In June of 2023, I received notification that the City Registrar's Office was awarded the grant and could begin phase 1 of our preservation projects. Board Bill 71 is the authorization legislation and grant agreement with the Missouri Secretary of State's office that allows the Registrar's Office to begin the award and begin phase 1 of a multi-phase imaging project, which is City Ordinance Books 1 through 40 for preservation. This is a non-match grant, and my goal is to apply each year for funding until the project is complete. I also will apply for funding in the next budget cycle to ensure that this project is completed. I also initiated and hosted in April of 2023, the annual Registrar's Office training and informational presentation in partnership with the Missouri Secretary of State's office, where 28 of the city employees, along with various departments, including the Recorder of Deeds office, the License Collector's office, the City Assessor's office, attended the event as well. I have asked Alderwoman Velazquez and the Chief Clerk of the Board to share that information and presentation with you, as well as the members of the Board of Aldermen. I also invite you to attend next year's annual informational session, which is great information. Mr. Chairman and members of the committee, I ask for your support and a do pass vote out of committee for Board Bill 71 and a yes vote on final passage of Board Bill 71, so that the Registrar's Office can begin and receive the awarded grant funds and start phase 1 of the critical project. Mr. Chairman and members of the committee, I am happy to answer any questions and welcome the opportunity to meet with each alderperson to share additional information regarding my vision and goals of the City Registrar's Office.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Sims. I appreciate your input. All right, we'll open up the questions. Alderman Clark Hubbard, any questions of the register?
No questions, just want to commend Registrar Sims for all of the work and things that she's doing to modernize that office. It's been, I know, a game changer, not just for her, but for her staff. And it's going to make it a lot easier for us to work and operate as a city through the Registrar's Office. So thank you. And with the sponsor's permission, I would like to be added as a co-sponsor.
All right, Sharita, please make note of that. Thank you very much, Alderwoman. And Registrar Sims, I have no questions either. Anytime we get money to do something better for us, I appreciate your efforts. Thank you so much. Appreciate
Thank
your
you, Mr.
office.
Chairman and Alderwoman Clark Hubbard.
All right, with that, I'll entertain a motion to pass Board Bill 71 out with a do pass recommendation.
So moved.
Second.
All right, with that, we will take the roll call.
Alderman Narayan. Alderwoman Clark Hubbard.
Aye.
Alderwoman Velazquez.
Aye.
Chairman Palmer.
Aye,
3 aye votes.
thank you. By your vote, we have passed Board Bill 71 out with a do pass recommendation. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you to the sponsor, Alderwoman Velazquez, and Alderwoman Shameen Clark Hubbard. I appreciate your support. Have a great day.
Thank you. Okay, line item 5, resolutions for review. We have none. Committee discussions. We have item number 1, which is the Charter Commission. Before us, we have been presented with the 9 selections by the mayor's office, whittled down from 151 that applied from a group of 22 that were turned into the mayor's office. But apparently some aldermen did not get their choices in. We were supposed to have a class of 42. There's supposed to be 3 per alderman, but that did not occur. This is a time for discussion at this point about this process. I've been in contact with the mayor's office, trying to determine, according to her quote, in regards to this process, this is a historic moment for our city with immense responsibility of reviewing the charter, proposing updates to form the foundation of our city functions. So what we have are 9 choices whittled down from a class of 22 But I am, in speaking with the mayor's office, I've been informed that there's been no interviews done with any of these 22 candidates. That this was done based solely upon their geographical location and by their resumes and applications. I would like an explanation of how this is done without any interviewing process. Do we have someone from the mayor's office? I see Mr. Boyd. Please proceed. I believe you have to be sworn in first, Mr. Boyd.
Yes,
Sharita, please swear in, Mr. Boyd.
I'm sorry, raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
All right, so if you could, Mr. Boyd, please, I'm curious, I've been a business owner for 34 years, been an alderman for 20 plus. But when I hire people, even in my business, to be a waiter or waitress, even a busboy, I tend to sit down and want to meet with them. Past the point of giving the immense responsibility of forming the foundation of our city functions, I would think that personal interviews of some sort should have been conducted. Is there a reason, or how were these choices made?
Sure. Thank you, Alderman Vollmer, and thank you to the committee and the other alder people who joined us today. Probably would be helpful if I gave a bit of a background and talked a little bit about the process that the mayor used to select these 9 candidates. As Alderman Vollmer mentioned, we received 22 candidates, and that list was determined in conjunction with the clerk and the Board of Alderman President's office as to what candidates were submitted in a timely fashion. There were some candidates that were nominated by multiple alder people. And for those candidates, there were 3 such candidates. We felt that multiple alder people nominating the same person was indicative of the fact that those people should receive consideration, and accordingly, after looking at the resumes of those people, 3 people, as stated, were nominated by multiple alder people. All of those candidates were selected based not just on their qualifications, but based upon the fact that multiple alder people thought that those applicants were worthy of one of the 3 nominations. So 3 of the 9 were considered by multiple alder people, leaving 6 slots for additional participation. And the mayor has been clear that she does not have she would like to see the Charter Commission modernize city government and hopefully improve city government, but there are not specific outcomes that she is interested in pursuing. She thinks that by putting smart, capable, community-oriented people with different perspectives in a room with resources, that we can get to a place, hopefully, where we come out with a good working product. So in really looking at those 6, as stated before, we're not pursuing any of these people with a specific outcome in mind for what will occur with the Charter Commission. So we looked at skill sets that we thought would be helpful to have in a room when we're talking about city government. And one of the people that we selected is Travis Sheridan in North, and what he brings is someone who is experienced in economic development, and he has exposure to different cities. So he works for Wexford, has worked in economic development, and in doing so has worked in multiple cities, both in the United States and internationally. So he understands what it's like to do business and work on initiatives in multiple cities. He's also vice chair of the St. Louis Economic Development Partnership. So in addition to working on land use in different cities, he understands the regional landscape for economic development. small business people often interface with government, and Scott Intagliata is someone that we know of that's a small business owner and invests in several small businesses. So in addition to having community involvement, he can bring the lens of a small business owner and investor to the Charter Commission. What are some of the hurdles or opportunities that small business people have when they interface with city government?
Before if I can, I'm sure that I'm happy that all these people have applied and are
Sure.
going. And I'm as far as reading about them, but having nominated 3 people myself, and apparently none of them were ever contacted. So there was never any contact made of any means with any of these candidates at all. There was no reach out for any of these folks.
Not necessarily. I think there are some
Either
people.
is that yes or no? Were any of them contacted during the process?
Some people reached out to our office with questions about the process. Some people reached out to their alderperson, who in turn reached out to our office.
Mhm.
So there were people who proactively reached out to our office. And as I said before, we're really looking at skill sets. And that guided the remaining 6 selections for the Charter Commission.
All right. I've been on it a long time, and you've never known me to be disruptive or obstructive or anything. In these times where what we're dealing with is a very, very important commission here, I was somewhat disappointed to find out that there was no personal interviews done of any type. I did have candidates reach out to me saying that they had not heard anything from the mayor's office. I reached out to the mayor's office, and I actually never heard back from anyone, or they've never heard from anyone either. It's an age where we're seating people, and I'm an old man. I've had people lie to me on resumes before, and I'm saying that any of these people have, but I just want to make it publicly known that there has been nothing done in the way of an interview with any of these candidates at all. So we've never met with them. You've never had an eye-to-eye discussion with them, got feelings for them about how they actually, as opposed to this reading a piece of paper. I will, want to put it on record that that's how this was done.
Well, I would say that many of these people are respected in the community, so I don't think it's a matter of whether or not they can lie on a resume. I think it's a matter that
these people are
many of
probably
these
all wonderful.
people have
If you could,
lived.
sir, if you could. I'm not saying this is no disparaging on any of these candidates that are chosen by the mayor. I have no problem. I'm sure these are all fine and wonderful people. It's not about the people that were chosen. It's about the process of how they were chosen, and the ones that weren't chosen. I want to get on record how that was done. So it's in the public record that there was never an interview process done one-on-one with any of these candidates. Yes or no?
There was not a direct interview process, but there are
Well,
candidates that reached out to our office.
Okay, did you reach out to any of these people and ask them questions? Have you met with any of these folks?
We have not met with all of the applicants, but as stated
So
before,
if you meet with some applicants and not the others, is there an unfair advantage to the ones you met with without giving everyone the chance to meet?
no, we did. As I stated before, when I say meet, we did not meet with applicants. Some people proactively reached out to our office, and we answered those questions. But when names like Anna Crossland come to our office, I don't think it's not a matter as if
Again,
you have to look at her
I'm
resume.
not worried mentioning these people's names. I'm sure they're all fine people. As a committee, we really can't actually vote on this. We're here just to hear discussion on the process and make that process public, how it was done. In light of many things as far as decision-making in City Hall, I would want to get this on public record. This was done without any public interviews or invitations to the 22 candidates. Is that correct? Yes or no, sir?
I'm not going to belabor the point. There were no interviews that were
That's all I'm
formal interviews that were part of the process.
That's what I was asking you, sir.
Okay,
Okay, I'm not putting you on trial. I just want,
sure.
we are servants of the city of St. Louis. If we're going to seat people on a commission where they're going to basically change, as in the mayor's words, the foundation of how our city functions, I think that there should be everyone should know how this was done. That we had 151 applications, some did not qualify. We had aldermen who nominated 22 people. Some aldermen forgot to nominate or missed the deadline point. I want to make that public also, because there was supposed to be 42 candidates. And of the 22, this was done by a resume and application process only, or by public knowledge of maybe of some of their exploits. And that is what I'm trying to put out into the public at this point, that there was no interview process, and that this is what we're dealing with as far as this goes. And you've agreed to, you've answered my question. That's all the question I was asking you, that there was no interview process. So down the road, if something comes up with something, which I hope nothing does, I wanted to make sure of how this was done. Because when I have applicants who I put in say that no one's even reached out to me or contacted me, I wanted to make sure that no other applicants were reached out to and contacted. We have multiple candidates from the same, a couple of the same wards. There's just reaching out. I know it was done 3, 3, and 3, north, center, south. Yeah, I was just trying to get some insight as to how these decisions were made. With that, I will turn it over to Alderman Hubbard, if you have any questions of Mr. Boyd at this point.
No, I don't have any questions of Mr. Boyd, but I did, something you said triggered me wanting to make sure that I mentioned just the nomination process. I think Alderman Vollmer, you mentioned some may have forgotten, some missed the time. I have record that show different deadlines, not legislatively, but deadlines that we were presented to make sure. And just noting that we were just getting down here, getting acclimated into these new spaces. Some of the people that reached out to me, it's like I didn't hear from anybody on it, and then like within a 24-hour period I heard from a lot of people, and not even people that are were necessarily in the 10th ward, but people that now this is Mr. Boyd's point, Mr. Boyd's point, that there were some phenomenal people that were nominated by multiple people, and I got calls from them as well. So I just, I would be remiss if I didn't mention that, because I don't want to have anyone think that anybody purposefully, as an audit person, did not engage in this process or didn't engage in a certain way. Some of us had conversations that we thought were enough. Some of us got messages again on the back end with different deadlines. And so I'm hoping, and I think I agree with Alderman Vollmer, we don't want anything to come up. We want this to work, right? We all believe in this, and we believe in this process and fought for it. But I'm glad that we're having this conversation today, and I'll be looking forward to watching this process unfold.
All right, thank you very much. Yeah, it was as far as timing, they probably couldn't have picked the worst way of doing this, because the mayor's come, I believe it was June 30th, and the following week is the holiday weekend. I was out of town. Many people were out of town. A lot of things were shut down. So within this, all of a sudden, we're handing 9 names and trying to read up on them and trying to get to know them and explaining the process. I just assumed, which I know you should never assume in life or in public office, that an interview process was being done. And I was taken quite aback when I found out there was no physical one-on-one interview with any of the 22 candidates. And that was just kind of astonished me. And I want to get it on, and I wasn't trying to belabor the point, Mr. Boyd, not trying to beat you up. I just needed to get it on public record of how this occurred. And I want this to work. Believe me, I've been doing this a long time. You've never seen me get on a bully puppet and get up there and scream and shout, but I was just kind of amazed that there was no personal interviews, and I hope that this works out without them being done. We'll move on to Alderman Velasquez. You have any questions of Mr. Boyd or any comments?
I don't have any questions. Thank you, Mr. Boyd, and thank you, Alderman Vollmer, for bringing this, for your questions today too. I just want to echo the Alderman from the 10th and just say, I know that it was a lot kind of coming in. I had a bunch of people reach out to me too. I think actually of all the wards, the 6th ward had the most applicants. So it was a lot to sift through. And we had some great applicants too. But I think, making sure that this is a process that we do right, because it is a big responsibility for all the folks that are here, as well as for us right now, and thinking that we have, these changes for the good of the city, and that we don't want any surprises personnel wise or people wise, but that this can be focused on the greater good of the city.
No, and I agree, and that's why I guess I'm getting old, and I believe you should, dot every I and cross every T every time you can. And I believe that there has been, again, I hope it never comes back to bite us in the butt, but I believe that a personal interview of these candidates should have been done. And at that point, this is nothing that we as a committee can vote on, actually, is my understanding. We can pass this along to the board if we decide to pass out. It's kind of to be voted on by the full board. And I'm hoping that if they don't watch this meeting, that they do watch this meeting, are aware, and we'll try to make them all aware of how this was done. I do not want to stand in the way of this. I don't understand there's a timing situation. I am just kind of disappointed in the process that occurred here, and I hope it doesn't come back to be a problem. So at this point, we've taken all the information. I'm guessing you folks on my committee have their resumes in your possession, or have you not? Have you seen them?
I don't know if you want to go in order. I've looked through everybody's, and I went through everybody's in my ward that applied, and some folks got nominated.
But I'm talking about the mayor's final nominees. Does everyone have a copy of their resumes? So I'll be asking the mayor's office, because I believe the board will be voting on this as a whole. I would ask that the final nominees' resumes and applications are made in the hands of all the members of the full board, if possible, because we'll be voting on it. Mr. Boyd, can you take care of that, sir?
Yes, I believe the clerk distributed the
Well,
file of all the
we have the
applicants, and I
file.
believe.
We all have the file with 151 in it.
Sure.
If it could be, if you could narrow it down, because instead of having to rummage through all that, I asked Kevin to make a batch up just with the 9 on it. That, because you're searching through the whole format, trying to narrow it down. So that would be helpful. So that
I believe Kevin Bailey sent that to you and the members of the committee yesterday.
Okay.
And happy to send that out to the full board as well. We even though they're not panelists, many of the applicants are actually on the call today, and with previous boards such as the Board of Freeholders, the Legislation Committee, or the Board of Aldermen has had the opportunity to ask individual questions to prospective candidates. So I know that we do have a tight timeline, but I am cognizant of the fact that the attendees many of the applicants are on the call today. And I'd be more, as been stated in the letter, we're more than happy to facilitate interviews or questions with many of the candidates, or with the candidates before alders feel the need to vote. As you've stated, there's been a tight timeline at every phase of the Charter Commission. And I think if we could go back, maybe we would relax some of those time limits. But my office and many of the attendees who are here today, I think would be available to answer any questions about their personal qualifications. And I'd be happy to answer questions about the skill sets that we sought.
Well, let me ask you this question, because it is my understanding that we are scheduling another board meeting for the 20th next week. This will not be our final go down meeting on Friday. If there is chance to line up something and legally and how we do this, if they're not on the call, I'd be willing to hold another legislative meeting to have. I see many aldermen on today. I don't see, you say that the applicants are on the call, but I don't see them, dialed in on my screen. But before, I don't know, it might behoove us. And again, just to get this right and to make sure that we have everything done properly, does this fit a timeline for next Thursday's meeting on the 20th? Because I believe the timeline is The mayor's nomination was June 30th. We have 21 days to host hearings and votes. So I believe that Tuesday meeting next Tuesday, would that fit into our schedule legally? Is there someone give me that answer just to prepare in case any members do want to ask questions of these folks? I just think it's very important to have every piece of knowledge about this out there that we can, due to the importance of this commission. Is anyone looking us up, right? Is there, Mr. Clerk, are you handy?
I'm checking, you just want to see if we could check the schedule?
Well, you know, if we hold another discussion meeting next Tuesday, in case Alderman, if we could have the 9 present, if possible, if fits their schedule. I don't know if it's legal for us to privately ask them, have discussions where there's not a full committee. Or if people want to meet with these folks, is there a way of setting this up? I guess the legal process would be a committee hearing next Tuesday. And we have a full board meeting on Thursday, the 20th, in case.
Okay, I was just informed that the full board would have to vote by July 21st.
Okay, well, the 20th will be the full board vote.
Mhm.
Okay,
So we have, so far, it's no committee hearings next week.
Okay, well, that's because we all thought we were gonna be off.
Right.
We have to have this legally done by the 21st. I don't know, I feel everyone would be more comfortable with as much knowledge as possible about this. If you,
And I think, like I said, all of the nominees are looks like they are in the attendees column. So I think I'd be more than willing to work with you and setting up a structure for the interviews for next Tuesday.
okay, I guess, the best way to do would be to have them here with us. And if any other alderman, I will entertain any other alderman besides the members of the committee, I'll let them entertain questions also, just to have this out. I just want everything to be above board and handled properly. And I think if it fits our timeline, let's do it correctly.
Mr. Chairman, just to let
Yes.
you know, I was just informed if they are not all voted on by the 21st, we will have to have additional special full board meetings.
Okay, well, I'm hoping they all qualify still, but Alderman Velasquez, yes.
Yes, if some of the ones, because I do see them, I know that there's like a process because they're attendees and not panelists, but if we can get some folks who are here to answer questions, is that something we could start today? And
Well, I
not
would, if,
all,
I don't plan on this being a meeting where we're trying to eliminate nominees. That is not my intent. My intent is to get, I guess, to make sure the vote goes well. I'm guessing we could have a 5-hour discussion, 6-hour discussion on the floor this Friday without people knowing who these people are. Because we can vote this Friday, but I could see certain aldermen maybe wanting to get into the bushes in the thick of it and maybe not pass them out. My goal is not to be obstructionist here. My goal is to get as much information out and make sure people are comfortable.
right, all I'm saying is that since we have some of these people here already now, can we just start?
But I don't know, I'm seeing we have a number of aldermen here. We have 1, 2.
Yeah, we have 16 attendees. I'm on the web browser version, so I can see a little bit different, but we've got, I would have to look at the full list, but we've got at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, at least 8 of the nominees here. We might have all of them. I would want somebody to verify that. So we could, I guess I'm suggesting that since we have people here, and I'm happy to attend a meeting next Tuesday as well, but.
Well, yeah,
that we-
if anyone knows me, they know the last thing I like to do is have a lot of meetings and long meetings.
Right.
So this is not something I'm looking forward to. I just feel this is a very, very important commission we're seating. And I want to make sure that there is no questions about how this process was done.
Right,
This is not about the people. This is about the process.
Right, and I guess I'm saying since we have some of the people here, could we start some of that process that we were gonna start on Tuesday? Is it possible to start it today?
If, I don't know how long it will take these people to get linked in.
Well, they're already, some of them are already here.
well-
I guess it's STL TV if they can do that.
And I see,
Alderwoman, I am seeing Adam Costa, Anna Crossland, Annie Rice, Anthony Riley, Brianna Bobo.
Ken, I have the
Yeah.
list, Chairman, if you want, I can move them over if you want me to.
no, if you know that we get them listed, that if I see Alderman Oldenburg, Browning, Keys, Schweitzer, Aldridge, are you folks, I see you're on, are you, can we see your faces? Are you interested in participating here today? Are you just dialed in to listen to me mumble all day? Because if we don't have these, I see they're there, but if they're not with us,
Hi, I'm with you all. I just was listening. I am curious about the process as well. I do want to note that I did interview my applicants, and one of those people was one of the mayor's choices. And so I don't know if everyone sat down with their applicants, but in their final picks. But I did interview mine, and I am with Alderwoman Velasquez. I would think that it would be good to question anybody if they want to today. If that's something that we want to get into, I'd be into it.
all right. I'm just trying to make sure, because if I gave notice, I'm just seeing that Alderwoman Keys, Schweitzer, and Aldridge and Oldenburg are on the screen, but I don't see them popping in. They might have left us.
Here, I'm just on the bus right now.
So, Sharita, you have the availability to put these people in, the applicants, the
Yes, sir.
nominees?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. All right, so Alderman Aldridge, Alderman Schweitzer, are we present?
I'm not showing Jasmine Nolan Eccles.
Okay,
That's the only one.
all right.
Do you think, well, maybe we can just reach out, well, Never mind. Ignore me.
All right, and do we
And if
have,
she signed in under another person's name, she can raise her hand and then I
Alright.
can move her over, but,
okay,
oh, is it?
so,
Looks like she's under owner.
okay, so I have myself, so I'm looking for Alderwoman Clark Hubbard, I'm looking for Alderwoman Keys, Alderman Aldridge, Alderman Schweitzer, Alderman Browning, are you joining us?
I'm here.
I'm also here.
All right. What we're trying to do is just make sure that this process of this commission is transparent as can possibly be done.
Excuse
as
me,
I-
I am here, but my internet is spotty. So it might drop in and out, so.
Well, this is not a voting process, so you can actually speak. We can do you through audio only because there's no vote being taken on this. We're just trying to
Thank
just to do information. So if you're able to hear us, and we can hear you, that's
I
fine.
can, thank you, thank
Okay.
you.
No, thank you, Alderman Keys. Always a pleasure. And I'm just trying to get this, Alderman Hubbard's back. Alderman Browning's with us. I just want to, since we've nearly not got a chance to know any of you folks, I've heard some of your names before. Leave this open. I'm glad you could join us today. Hopefully trying to avoid maybe calling you all back next Tuesday to do this again, since we're having another board meeting. I'm just trying to make sure that Friday's vote goes as well as it possibly can. Since this is kind of a rushed process, unfortunately, it seems a lot of things at City Hall happen that way, and I don't want to be, leave anything open to question as far as how this committee has run this. So I'm glad you're here with us. And I believe if we have any further questions without the committee, that it can be done one-on-one, or certainly, but since we're here, we'll take it this way. And as my understanding, I had the mayor's office state this, I was disappointed in the fact that there was no personal interviews done as chairman of this committee. I didn't find it out till the last time. I was hoping that would be the process. It's nothing disparaging against any of you. I applaud you for wanting to get involved in these things that we do. It takes a lot of time, effort, and we appreciate you wanting to join us on this journey. So since we have to join, if there's questions, I will turn it over to members of the committee first. Alderman Clark Hubbard, do you have any questions or comments on any of the folks we have present? I believe everyone is here except for Ms. Nolan Eccles.
I don't have any questions. I've read everyone's resumes and I'm just one in awe of the work that you all have already done here in the city of St. Louis. And I thank you all for signing up for the commitment, right, to be able to serve on this committee. And I'm looking forward to this process moving forward and some changes being made. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Alderman. Alderman Velazquez, as a member of the committee, do you have any comments, questions of any of the fine folks in front of us?
I don't. I want to thank them as well for taking the time and being willing to undertake this big responsibility. I think it would be nice, and Alderman Vollmer, I don't know how you want to set this up, if we could, just hear maybe briefly, 30 seconds, a minute from each of them for the record.
That was the plan. I wasn't gonna ruin their whole day just so I can see their faces. I like to hear their voices too. I appreciate you taking the time. I just wanted the members of the committee and any other sitting aldermen there with us to make any questions or comments, and then let each one, I'll give them actually about a minute and a half. You'll find out how long a minute and a half is when you try and speak for it, if you've never done. It can be annoying. All right, Alderwoman Keys, any questions or comments since I have you first on my screen?
Thank you so much, Alderman Vollmer, and committee. I am very happy to see that some of my nominees did make the cut. Thank you all for the breadth of work and commitment that you have made to our city. So I also look forward to great things. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderwoman. Alderman Schweitzer, you're next on my screen. Are you with us or not?
Thank you so much. Can you all hear me okay?
We can, yes.
Wonderful. I'm on the bus right now. I appreciate you being flexible with not seeing my video.
Well, we're not voting, so
You know,
it's okay.
I appreciate it. I think, you know, I hope that when they each speak, first of all, just to, again, echo my colleagues' comments, thanking them for their time and their interest in this, but I'd love to hear, you know, why they wanted to be on this committee in particular, and what they're hoping to bring to it with their experiences. And I look forward to hearing from each of them. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderwoman. Alderman Aldridge, are you with us, sir?
Yes, I'm on. Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the committee. I want to second what the Alderwoman Schweitzer said. You know, I was looking forward to hearing some of the other members. You know, I see that two of the people that I selected was on for us, Travis Sheridan, which if he's not able to speak on himself, I'm willing to speak very highly about the work that he's done in the city, as well as Reginald Garth. But, you know, would like to hear from others and figure out how we can you know, get these folks nominated and move the process on so that this charter commission can come into place.
All right, thank you, Alderman. And we have Alderman Browning.
No questions, just echo my colleagues. Thank you all for applying. I know many of you, and I'm excited to see what you can do, and just looking forward to hearing a little bit more about you all. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Those look to be all the Alderman Oldenburg was here, but he is gone. Looks like, and we will do this from the list that I have from the office mayor, and then we'll give you folks a couple of minutes to speak to us. We'll go with Jasmine Nolan Eccles. You're first on my list. Ms. Sharita, do we have to, there's not testimony here, or do we need to swear these folks in?
We can.
If we can do it all at once, I believe.
Absolutely.
Okay, if you folks would, please raise your right hand and let Sharita swear you in. Thank you very much.
Do you affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Unmute your.
Please unmute yourself so I can hear your voice. Part of the legal process.
Yes.
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 Thank you.
Yes.
All right. We just need to get all on record. Thank you so much. With that, we will start with Jasmine Nolan Eccles. Please proceed for a couple of minutes and let us know why you want to do this. And
hello, everyone. My name is Dr. Jasmine Nolan Eccles. I am a born and raised St. Louis City, Penrose neighborhood, to be exact, citizen and resident. I have, and my family has lived in this particular area for about 3 to 4 generations. It has been a responsibility of my generation to make sure we are active participants in what needs and what should happen for the city of St. Louis. So I am taking the responsibility to make sure that my generation is actively represented in doing so. That is why I thought it would be beyond my responsibility to participate in this commission.
all right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Members of the committee, I'll leave it open to you if you have any questions. Please just raise your hand as opposed to me asking you each time after each speaker, okay? Alderman Velasquez and Alderman Hubbard. All right, and see, that was only 47 seconds. How quick it goes. All right, Travis Sheridan, you're next on the hit parade.
Good afternoon. Thank you for letting me to speak. I'm sorry I'm going to be off camera. Oh, I am on camera now. Great. I am a proud resident of Old North St. Louis. Thank you to Alderman Rasheed Hubbard for Rasheed Aldridge for his support and encouragement to participate. Been involved in economic development for a number of years, 15 to 20 years. But I think the main reason I got involved and threw my hat in the ring is, you know, very simply, if we have an antiquated system, even if we have amazing policy and amazing leadership, the best we can hope for sometimes is a mediocre outcome. And I think that we have the opportunity not just to correct some of the charter from the past for this current generation, but really to set up the next generation for amazing success within the city of St. Louis. So I'm just really excited and pleased to serve. My first job in St. Louis back in 2012 when I moved here was with, at that time, the Economic Development Council in the county, and got to be there for the merger between the county and the city's economic development efforts, and now serve as the vice chairman of that organization on the board. So it's been great to grow within that organization and see the change that's taken place in St. Louis. Thank you.
All right, thank you, sir. Okay, Reginald Garth.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and esteemed alders. Thank you all for having us on today. I guess I am Reginald Garth, and I am a resident of Columbus Square, born and raised in St. Louis, and I am also your favorite financial coach and credit counselor just down the hall from you wonderful alders in room 230. I'm in room 220, of course, and know you all have seen all of my flyers and everything for financial workshops. But besides that, I am here to simply serve. I am happy to be a part of this because I want to see our city move from good to great. There are a lot of policies, procedures, and things that are quite antiquated. And to help bring this city into a more modern method of operation and modern ideals is not only important, but it's also great for everyone. So I'm happy to be a part of this process. I look forward to serving and continuing to serving in whatever capacity possible. I want to personally also thank my Alderman Aldridge for selecting me to be a part of this. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You can tell he works City Hall, he talked the most. This is your audition tape, remember, because a lot of the aldermen who can't be with us will be watching this before the Friday of vote. So after that, we'll go to Scott Intagliata. Mr. Intagliata.
Yeah, hi, how are you?
Very well. You got out of the car. Very good.
Yeah.
You're breaking up, sir. Oh, he's kind of frozen. Let's go to Anna. Oh,
Wanted
yeah,
to be
okay.
safe when I talk. Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes, well, you're breaking up a little bit. Go ahead, sir.
Great, yeah, thanks and appreciate this chance to speak. I grew up on the south side. I live in the central West End. I think I was nominated or put forward by a number of the alder people on this call. I'm delighted to do so. I'm a business person and an investor, and invested both monetarily and professionally and personally, most importantly, in the city, and want to see it be as good as it can be. And I think the Charter Commission is a step forward on that. So thank you.
All right, thank you, sir. All right, Anna Crossland, it is your turn.
Hello.
Hello.
As Alderman Vollmer said, my name is Anna Crossland. Lots of things about me, some of you at least have probably know or heard already. Let me talk a little bit about some things that may not be quite as well known. One is that I actually am Japanese heritage, was born in Tokyo, Japan, and came to the United States when I was about 2.5. So my job at the International Institute for 42 years as president and CEO of a multicultural organization really fit my personal as well as my professional sorts of missions at that point. What I bring to this process, golly, several different things. I guess one is a historical perspective, because I was involved way back in the 90s in an effort that Focus St. Louis, in fact, undertook to assess City Hall and the services and make recommendations about improvement. And then in the early 2000s, I was involved in the Board of Freeholders and that effort. And in some ways, it just seemed logical that, you know, the kinds of things I believe in and want to be able to see happen here in the St. Louis city, which have to do with really being the best that it can be, that I keep working at that, because, you know, if we quit, we don't get anywhere. So yes, I'm retired. I retired in February of 2021, but no, I haven't gone to sit next to the pool and ignore life. Instead, I'm involved, and I'm involved in things now that I might not otherwise have had the time to be able to contribute to while I was still in my professional career. You know, I'm a bit of a demographer also, numbers wonk. And so, you know, I look at the numbers of the city of St. Louis, and a lot of people get really nervous about the numbers because they see loss, they see decrease. I see potential also. And if we can harness the opportunities that are here and really be able to affect change in a way that attracts and retains people in St. Louis City, and also regionally, because this isn't just a city problem, this is a regional problem. I think if we can really harness that and be able to make change at this point, then we can ensure that there's a city here that our children and our grandchildren will want to live in. And that's what I'm really after. Is I'm not after just today and tomorrow. I'm after 20, 30, 40 years, because it's the long haul that really matters. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Hopefully I'll be around 30, 40. I don't think so. We'll see. All right. Anthony Riley.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Chairman Vollmer, to the other members of the board and our board clerk, chief of staff, for our mayor. Good afternoon. I am Anthony Riley. I live on the 4300 block of Delmar. And so Alderman Sharon Tyus gives leadership to our ward. I also pastor the Central Baptist Church, which owns and operates multiple properties on the 2000 block of Washington. And Alderman Laura Keys gives leadership to our ward. I have been a resident of the city for the last 4.5 years, owning property for the last 3 years. And I'm excited about this process. Because I'm newer to the region, I don't have a particular agenda. I do want to see the charter updated, modernized, streamlined, but also as a nonprofit leader, leader of conferences across the country and conventions, I know the importance of strengthening and making sustainable the institution. So I want to look at how we can build the institution and strengthen it, make it more sustainable as we look at growth and inclusive prosperity for all residents in the city. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very, very much. All right. Brianna, is it Bobo or Bobo?
It's Bobo.
Okay.
Hello, everyone. Greetings. Thank you, Alderman Vollmer, and hello to all who are present. My name is Brianna Bobo. I go by she series pronouns. And I was actually born in Kansas City, grew up in Baldwin, Missouri, which is just west of St. Louis City. But I now reside in the city of St. Louis, and I'm here for primarily 3 reasons. Representation, accountability, and also decision-making. Those are really cornerstones, I think, of an effective democracy. And so I'm really invested in seeing those play out. And then I would say another point is that a cornerstone of my operating ethos is legacy. So I'm not a parent yet, hopefully someday, but I consider myself to be an honorary auntie. And so I care very deeply about the legacy that we're leading. And so I would say the massive priority for me, at least, is to make sure that we are setting ourselves up not only for those who are here, but those who are to come as well. And so that's really my purpose for seeking this out. I hope that I can be effective and engaged and listen. And then as another part of that, hopefully I'm not taking up too much time. I know I have 1.5 minutes. I'm also a preacher's kid, so I can go on and on and on. So you might have to stop me. But I just completed my master's degree in business, graduated at the top of my class. And so I think that my education and also my professional background in strategic marketing and strategy rather could be helpful to this process. Thank you.
No, thank you very much. All right. And it was only 1:49. You did well. Okay, we will go to David Dwight IV.
Hello, everyone. Thanks so much, Chair, and to all the alders. And it's great to meet the rest of the committee today on the call. I've lived in St. Louis, the St. Louis region for 12 years and the city of St. Louis for 8. I currently reside in the Gravois Park neighborhood. A lot of what brought my love to St. Louis has actually been seeing how it's reacted to great tragedy with the killing of Michael Brown and getting involved with activist movements, student organizing movements, and ultimately with the Ferguson Commission coming on as a fellow. And across that experience, had the huge privilege to engage with so many people across our region that wanted to see St. Louis be all that it could be, and to see the passion then lived out into our policies and our systems and our structures. And so I hope to bring some of that kind of policy analysis as well as experience with community engagement and also with applying a racial equity lens to systems and structures. And then I was the executive director of Forward Through Ferguson after serving with the organization for the last 8 years. I'm really passionate about this and excited to offer any of my skills, however they can be of service. The charter is obviously the bedrock and the landscape upon which all other policies and structures get formed within the city of St. Louis, but it hasn't been updated significantly in about 100 years. And like other people have said, St. Louis isn't just looking into the past, but St. Louis and the beauty of it is present and its future. And I should be really excited to be part of the process of securing that. And also ensuring that community voice is centered in the process, and that this is a huge opportunity for awareness building in the community about the importance of the charter.
All right, thank you very, very much. All right, and last on the hit parade is Christopher Grant. Please proceed.
Thank you, Alderman Vollmer, and thank you everyone for being here today. And I want to thank, I'm a Tile Grove South resident. I was nominated by Alderwoman Velasquez, and thank her. I'm a 21-year resident of the city. Have 2 kids in St. Louis public schools. I am an attorney, and I focus in particular on union side labor law and workers' rights. I heard Mr. Garth mention making the city from good to great. That's exactly what I think we can do. I think I want to bring a particular perspective to the committee, which is I do a lot of work for low-wage workers, janitors, nursing home workers, misclassified construction workers. We need to bring that perspective to make this city good to great. We can't leave anyone behind, and that's what I hope to help with and to hear from the community and see what we can do as far as the charter with structural reforms and procedural reforms and substantive reforms. So I think it's really exciting and I look forward to it. Thank you.
All right, thank all of you very much. I'm glad we got a chance to hear from you today. Glad you all showed up. As we're going through this, apparently by having you all speak today, we might have, we're going to have another meeting on Thursday, I believe, because by having you here with no public testimony, we are violating the ordinance. That's why I was trying to schedule a meeting. So we're probably going to have another meeting Thursday too, to try and get you folks approved on Friday. I don't know that it's mandatory for you to be there, but I'm waiting to hear back from the clerk. It'll be announced. If you don't have it by the end of the meeting today, we will contact you. I'll be publicly notified. But I do appreciate you coming today and getting to hear you. I was, if you were online at the beginning of this meeting, I wasn't trying to be disruptive, but I was quite astonished that you were not called in for personal interviews of all the 22 candidates. I believe that's an important thing. Looking somebody in the eye and getting to talk to them is how you get to know people. These days, it's a lost work because everybody's doing this all the time. And I just appreciate the public input and the conversation. So with that, you can hang on. I think we have a couple of procedural things to do. Sharita, are you still with us?
Yes, sir, I am.
Okay, I've been contacted saying that we have to schedule a meeting for Thursday. Does Thursday at 2 o'clock work with the clerk's office?
Yes.
All right, will be a webinar Thursday at 2:00. Because we have, this is nothing we vote on here. This is merely us having discussions with you. The vote will become on Friday morning at the full board for you folks to be approved. And that's why I want to get all this out. So there's no one can say we didn't do anything properly. I want to make sure this goes smoothly. So as you're going to find out, government can be a little mind racking and take a lot of time sometimes, but we have to do it legally. So I appreciate you once again for volunteering to jump into this fray and to help us out. So with that, I believe, Sharita, we have no written testimony on any of this, do we?
I don't think so. Let me double check.
All right, because if we do, we have to acknowledge your written testimony sent to us.
No written comments.
Thank you very much. The announcements will be that we will be meeting Thursday, 2:00 via webinar for the Legislation and Rules Committee. If you folks are able to make it, I would. I don't believe it's mandatory because we're merely going to be taking public input on this process and on you folks. I will not open up to public discussion for questions. At that point, I'm just trying to hear what the public has to say. You've stated your case today. It's a matter of public record. So if anyone wants to know you, they can watch this tape. Or tape, I'm old, the webinar, YouTube. Yeah, I used to have an 8-track. I see you laughing, Brianna. Okay, with that, we'll excuse Alderman Ryan for necessary absence. We'll then entertain a motion to adjourn from members of the committee. Committee members, you still with us?
I'll move.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded by the committee that we adjourn Legislation and Rules Committee until Thursday, July 13th at 2:00 via webinar. Once again, thank you all for your time and your input. Glad you could all make it. Thank you very much. Meeting adjourned.